In the wake of Christopher Columbus's monumental journeys, explorers followed who proved he had not found his way to Asia, but to a different continent altogether. Europeans now spoke of the New World. That name, however, soon gave way to another, America. The American name would eventually encompass 2 continents and every country on each of the 2. Yet, only one country came to be known everywhere in the world as America. How she got her name is part discovery, part mistake. How she earned it and kept it spans the American Revolution to the American century. In 1501, Amerigo Vespucci explored the coastline of what we now know as Brazil. He was the first explorer to prove that what Columbus had found was not Asia, but a new continent. Vespucci called it Mundus Novus, the New World. In 1507, German cosmographers Martin Waldseemuller and Matthias Ringmann created a world map in which they labeled the recently discovered continent America, a form of Vespucci's first name, Amerigo. To their minds, Vespucci deserved the accolade, since they thought he had made the discovery. Remarkably, neither mapmaker knew about Columbus's expeditions. Waldseemuller would later realize the mistake and regret it. But it was too late. The name stuck. The New World became America. The later and unique national claim on the American name was forged through the crucible of the American Revolution. The colonies have been known as the American colonies, but more often than not, the colonists referred to these United Colonies, an ideal made popular by Benjamin Franklin. Then, on April 19, 1775, almost 3 centuries after Vespucci, colonial rebels took up arms against the British Empire. A little more than a year later, on July 2, 1776, the Continental Congress voted to separate from Britain. On July 4th, the delegates adopted a Declaration of Independence. The full title read, "The Unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America." Still, not until the late 1800s was the country commonly referred to as America. In writing the lyrics for America the Beautiful, at first a poem, then later the popular anthem, Kathleen Lee Bates was inspired by the majesty of Pikes Peak. She connected other natural splendors, America's spacious skies, fruited plains, wilderness, and seas, to America's enduring sympathies for those who came here seeking freedom, for those who died for the sake of freedom. America is imperfect, the poet acknowledged, and in need of help. God, mend thine every flaw, she wrote, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. The 20th century opened with a great surge of American energy. America was without rival in economic prowess, real potential, and then real growth, everywhere teeming with natural resources, industry, and newfound wealth. America played the leading role in the century-long struggle for freedom, especially in World War II and the Cold War. America was not without rivals. Alone among the contenders for superpower status, however, she maintained without interruption a free, representative government under the world's most enduring written constitution. That exceptional feat stood in sharp contrast to Germany, Japan, Russia, and China. We end this chapter with one of the most remarkable stories in the 20th century, America's unique contribution after World War II. The German Third Reich surrendered on May 8, 1945. Imperial Japan on September 2nd that same year. After the victorious close of the war, America not only helped rebuild the two countries, Americans helped Germany and Japan write their new constitutions. It was one of the most dramatic turns in all of world history. Germany and Japan were the two nations most responsible for the more than 70 million lives lost in the war. Once mortal enemies to America, by 1949, They held common legal and political ground with her, with the anthem America the Beautiful intones, liberty through law.